Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about using an underwater camera to find fish on the early ice. So we're going to skip the intro, skip all that stuff today in favor of getting you some good content in a timely manner. Number one thing that you want to do when you start to go out on the early ice is think about where the fish were before the ice was there. Most fish are going to be either in the channels or they're going to be out on the drops. They're going to be around what I would like to call green weeds, right? So Caden has punched a whole bunch of holes out from a channel, and basically he's dropping the camera down and he's looking for green weeds. Now, if you got clear enough water, you can do this visually. You can look for patches of green weeds in ice. You can drill down with the drill, and if you hit green weeds, you're going to find them. Caden has perfected the art of hole hopping here until he's actually going to find fish. He never drops down, never gets out the Vex, never does anything until he visually checks each hole with his camera. And what he's looking for is what he finds right here. Rob and Caden were out looking for panfish on the early ice, and what he's found here is a group of gills. Now, he's gonna know that I'm gonna get some action on this hole right here, and I also know that the fish are gonna be in similar areas to that. So he's outside of a channel mouth here in about 10 to 12 foot of water, and he's found a patch of gills. Now, they're not huge, granted, but once fish start feeding on the ice, more fish are going to be attracted, more fish are going to come over, and he's got some pretty decent clarity here to find these fish. He's found a bunch of gills in green weeds outside of a channel mouth, which is a textbook area to find these fish on the ice. So let's see what happens.
Yeah. Very nice gill, look at that. Look at that. Another little one. Not a bad one. Got 26 seconds sitting down. We're doubled. We're doubled. What are you in for? Look at that, we doubled. What do we got here? Looks a little better. I'll keep him. He's not bad.
I like that little hook too.
Yeah, I'm sorry. There we go. We got a good gill. We got a good one. I'll clean him.
So here, after finding the green weeds, finding the fish with the camera, Caden and Rob are starting to load up on them. And when these fish are firing, they're firing. On the ice, you want to keep that school active as long as you possibly can, right? Keep on those fish. You're seeing doubles here all the time. Caden and Rob are just simply dropping down, and they're making these fish come up to the bait, right? You drop that bait down to the level of the fish, slowly raise it, make that fish come up, and what those fish will tend to do is that entire school will move up in the water column and start feeding. So Caden and Rob are hovering these jigs over top of these fish. They're making them feed up, and the chances are if you can get fish to come up to a bait, they're going to eat it, right? Don't drop it all the way down on the bottom. Keep it over the top of their head. Shake it, shake it, shake it. Maybe give it a pause. And these fish are coming up to eat, and when they come up to eat, they hit it a lot harder. You can detect that strike a lot better, and you're just going to catch more fish.
Yeah, these are all. Oop. Use him for bait. Put him on tip up. That's a better one. Yeah. Nice.
That one will take a knife.
Put a knife in that one.
Huh?
So I'll put a knife in that one. Nice. Oop, you're all wrapped up. Decent one.
Huh?
So that's a decent one. That's like one that you know you'd practice. Ooh. On the plastic. If they want it, they'll eat it. Look at that, he wanted it.
So the next thing to consider here is when you find these fish, you want to give them different baits to keep them firing. They started out with jigs and spikes. Caden then switched it up, went to the ice plastic, always on a tungsten jig. Tungsten gives you the best feel, the best bang for your buck, if you will. But what it's been able to do is it's been able to keep Caden and Rob on different fish. They're keeping that school firing. Think of it like when you're fishing in the summertime or in the spring and you get on a school of fish and you get a bunch of bites on a crankbait and then you have to switch up to a worm or a jig to kind of keep that school firing. Same thing goes on the ice, right? A lot of guys go out, they drill 2 holes, they sit down, they fish there for 8 hours, they catch some, and then they don't catch anything for an hour, and then they catch 1 or 2, and then they don't catch anything for an hour, and they catch 1 or 2. Part of that is the fish that are down there get accustomed to what they're seeing, and they know that my friend just got jerked through a hole, right? I want to make sure that I don't do that. So different baits and presenting them in different ways is helping these guys work through bigger fish, better fish. And sometimes on the ice, instead of drilling a whole bunch of holes, once you find them, you gotta stay on them, and you gotta switch up baits, and you gotta see really what they want to eat. And sometimes the early ice is that way. Fish aren't going to be schooled up as heavily on the early ice. It just kind of depends on what's going on, and you got to find them first. Once you've been on the ice for a while, you can expect fish to be in the same places because they don't really move around a ton, right? But the things that you want to do when you find them on the early ice, you want to switch up baits, you want to find what's working best, and kind of just rotate through some of those baits and see what's working, what's not, and how you can keep that bite and keep prolonging that bite and keep it up.
That's a crappie.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That's a little better.
Look at that.
That's
what you're looking for. Phew. Dang. I saw the freaking. Let's get that hook out, lip that thing, let's see it.
He's even almost got a snout.
Nice. That's a good 10 inch. Dang. Nice. Fishing with Dad.
Gosh darn it.
Did you get pricked?
Again.
Maybe that's a sign.
I know.
Maybe that's
Well, guys, hope you really enjoyed today's video. It's a pretty simple laid back one, pan fishing on the ice. It's not a really complicated thing, right? Tungsten jigs, spikes, plastics work. Use an underwater camera to find them if you have one. If you don't, visually find those clumps of green weeds if you can. If not, you can drop the Vex down the hole and wait for clouds of fish to appear. But you want to kind of work out from channels, out from bays, work those depth zones until you find concentrations of fish. And then when you find concentrations of fish, you want to rotate through those baits to make sure that you're maximizing the most out of each spot that you get, right? We like to drill whole lines and zigzags over break lines to kind of see where they are depth-wise, but there's a lot you can do on the ice to catch fish. It's not really that complicated. It's just kind of trial and error, right? But we hope you guys enjoyed the content today. Let us know in the comment section what you want to see. We've got some really cool stuff planned now that we got some stable ice to fish. So we'll see you out there, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video, and see you next time.